Hey everyone, I just wanted to share a couple of dreams that I had on the 25th and 26th of December. I was supposed to actually share these dreams as soon as I got them, but I had so many distractions, but I'm sharing them now. These dreams are basically, how I got them was I prayed those couple of nights and I asked the Lord to share what was in his heart and in his mind at that time. And he gave me these two dreams, one on the 25th and one on the 26th. So I'll just read them to you and explain the message that I got with these dreams. So these dreams were about judgment. So I'll read. On Christmas morning, I received a dream. In the dream, I was looking towards my neighbor's house on the left. I saw they were up early and all dressed and ready to go to church to celebrate Christmas. So in this dream, it was also Christmas Day, and at the same time, I was dreaming it on Christmas Day. So let me continue. They had picnic baskets and chairs and every picnic stuff, so that after church they could go and eat and celebrate. They left the elder woman who lives with them at home. Then suddenly I saw myself and my mum sitting down at a table with the elderly woman that they live with, and we were reading to her Bible stories from the Old Testament about how God gets angry and that he is a righteous God. We also explained that since God judged so many nations back then, that he will most definitely do it again very, very soon. And that she should be ready because God's judgment is coming very soon. And it was a really quick dream, and it ended there. But as I woke up and I prayed about it, and later in the afternoon, the Lord revealed to me what this dream meant. So the message that I got from this was that was put in my heart, rather, I should say, was that those who are not celebrating Christmas, especially this year, those who weren't celebrating Christmas this year, for the most part, were his remnant, his bride. Those who were celebrating Christmas are rather the lukewarm and the worldly, and they still don't want to detach from the things of the world, because Christmas has become such a worldly thing, and it's originally a pagan holiday in any case. So those who are celebrating it are still into this world. I also got the message that he was also judging people on Christmas, and not a physical judgment, but a spiritual judgment. Because when I woke up that morning, I thought, was maybe God telling me that something major was going to happen on this day? No, he was rather telling me that he was doing a spiritual judgment, and that he was checking the people's hearts and making a spiritual separation of the wheat and the tares, the sheep from the goat, and the sheep from the sheep. He was looking also at those who were celebrating Christmas and professed to be truly celebrating Jesus on that day, and he was looking at their hearts. Because some people, they really do actually want to celebrate Jesus on that day. Some don't really know that it's a pagan holiday, and some really, they do want to celebrate Jesus on that day, but the Lord was checking their hearts on that day. He was checking if whether they were truly thinking about him that entire day. Were their hearts one with his that entire day? I mean, if they are gonna profess to be celebrating him, then were they really thinking about him the whole day? Were they really praising and worshiping him within their hearts that whole day? And he was checking people's hearts on that day, even those who were celebrating Christmas and who are his children, because there's still some people who celebrate Christmas who aren't clued up yet about the paganism behind Christmas Day. So I'm just checking where I stopped reading. Yeah, and he was also checking whether the people were really just using him as an excuse to celebrate Christmas and really don't care about him. They just wanted to use it as an excuse, or whether they truly wanted to actually worship him and spend time with him. Forget about the gifts, forget about the Christmas trees, forget about all that other worldly stuff. Like, where was your heart on that day? So yeah, the Lord was pretty much telling me that he was doing a spiritual separation on that day between the sheep and the goat, the wheat and the tares, which is basically the same as the sheep and the goat. And he was also checking between the sheep and the sheep. He was literally separating the sheep from the sheep. Those who are Christian or profess to be Christian, and those who truly love him and have a really good relationship with him, or have a deep desire to have a good relationship with him. He was doing that separation on Christmas Day. That's the message that I got. And he was basically also telling me that, because in the dream my mom and I were evangelizing to the neighbor. So a neighbor in the Bible, when they talk about loving our neighbors and things like that, it's people all around us. It's not just literally your neighbor from your house. It's people all around us. So also the Lord was also telling me that this is the time to be professing his judgment to our neighbors. So basically he's saying we should be really proclaiming judgment right now. Like, now is the time to proclaim the Lord's judgment. The time is now to tell people about God's judgment. This is the time. God's judgment is coming. He was also emphasizing to me on that day that his judgment is very soon, because literally when I woke up from that dream, it felt as if it was going to happen at that time. God's judgment was going to happen on that day. I felt like Christmas Day was going to be the day that God does his judgment, but he was assuring me later on that day that it was a spiritual judgment that he was doing on that day, a spiritual judgment. So he was looking at the people's hearts. He was looking at his remnant. He was looking at his bride. He was looking at what people were doing on Christmas Day and making a final judgment, because possibly it could be the last Christmas. I'm really not sure. No one knows the day or the hour, but the way things are happening, this world has gone mad. The world is just basically falling apart, and it just goes to show that we are very close. And literally, we could go to bed one night and wake up the next morning and the world would be in total disaster and destruction. So yeah, the Lord was telling me that on Christmas he was doing a spiritual judgment. And I think I was supposed to release that dream out on that day, but I really was not sure. I really wasn't sure, and I needed a confirmation, so I decided to wait. And so that same night, I prayed again, and I asked the Lord, please reveal to me again what's in your heart. And again, he was referring to judgment again, but this time showing me something that could possibly happen in the very, very near future, because I felt like the Lord was really trying to tell me that things are about to happen very soon. 2019 is going to be one hectic year. So I got another dream again on the 26th of December in the early hours of the morning, and the dream goes like this. I'll read it. I dreamt that I was standing outside facing west of our house, and I was looking up in the sky. The sky was getting darker, and I saw lights shooting in the sky. I also saw what looked to be spacecrafts or alien spaceships that were flying in the sky very, very fast. As it got darker, as though it were nighttime, I got the idea that there was a space war going on, and that's why the spaceships or UFOs were flying so very fast. It was a battle between humans and the demon aliens. The veil was lifted, and all people could see the space war that was going on right before their eyes just by looking up. They were chasing and shooting each other in the sky. I then saw different kinds of moons, crescents, full moons, blood moons, partial blood moons. They all took the formation of a triangle without the bottom line of the triangle. And I saw dates or words that were written under each moon, and my attention was at the partial lunar eclipse and the red blood moon. I had a feeling those were next to happen. I can't remember what was written under the moons, and my dream ended. I had a feeling that a space war was soon to take place, and everyone would see with their naked eye. The triangle formed by the moons reminded me of the Illuminati triangle sign, and that it was pointing to the aliens or alien invasion. Are the aliens going to attack during a blood moon? That's what I kind of asked myself there. And I don't know, maybe the Lord was telling me that the next, because I saw that the next blood moon that's gonna happen was is going to happen on January 20th, I think, 20th, 21st. So that's the next blood moon that's gonna happen, and that was the moon that was emphasized to me in that dream. I'm not saying on that day we're gonna have an alien invasion or anything like that. I'm just saying perhaps the Lord is telling me that judgment is coming, and it does involve the demon aliens, because we know that they are demons, and it involves them, and it's going to be happening very soon. I felt the Lord in these two dreams was emphasizing to me the closeness of his judgment. His judgment is about to take place first before the rapture. Like, we're, as the bride, we are going to see some of that judgment, and then I think he's gonna take us. And yeah, I'm not, obviously nobody knows how everything is gonna go down exactly to the T, but we can speculate. And so my dreams were basically about God's judgment. The Lord was telling me that what's in his heart and his mind is his judgment, and that a lot of of people are going to die, a lot of people are going to be affected, a lot of people are going to be judged. Not many people are going to make it into his kingdom, which is the unfortunate part, which is the part that really hurts our Lord's feelings. And we should be praying. We shouldn't be praying to stop the judgment, but rather praying for people to repent, because the judgment must take place. The judgment must happen. So yeah, that's all that I wanted to say. 2019 is gonna be quite a year. I pray for every one of you that is watching these videos. I pray that you stay ready. 2019 is gonna be a hectic year of judgment. Please warn your friends and family. The Lord is saying we should proclaim judgment. Now is the time to be proclaiming judgment to everyone, our neighbors, that is everyone, everyone that you can talk to. And please stay ready. God bless everyone. Shalom.